He's using a 10-meter pole made of carbon fiber and has a different solution to the problem of surface drift. Now, you're fishing a different method, Dick. You're fishing with a pole.
Yeah, it's a method that we use for when you've got a wind on the water like we have today, you've got the surface water moving one way and the underwater going the other way. If you've got a float on top, if you might be using a running line, a normal reel and rod and reel, you'd then tend to get the float going one way and dragging your bait with it. And doing that, it would then not be accepted by the fish. Now with a pole like this, a long pole anyway, it means you can fish further out, and all it does is holds the bait in position. Because you've got a short line to your float, you see. Yes. It can't move from where you put it in.
What bait are you using in this particular method?
Well, I've got one, look.
Good.
Look at that.
Now,
I'm fishing maggot at present.
So you're just swim feeding, you're just fishing the maggots out there?
Yeah.
Just what?
I'm just loose feeding them with
put them out with your...
With a catapult.
With a catapult?
Yeah. And all it is that you just don't want to put bread ground bait in, because the ground bait is not really suitable for these kind of fish. A lot of perch in this bag today.
It's interesting the way you're handling that pole. The expertise in it look as if it need explaining. Would you give us a little lesson? Show us how you do it.
Well, because of the length of this pole, when you're actually sat down and fishing with it, you've got to have two hands on it. You can stand up with one hand, but if you're talking a period of 4 or 5 hours, which is match conditions or match time, then you've got to be comfortable when you're fishing, any kind of fishing. And the ideal place to hold it is across your leg. And you just balance it with the left hand. And when you get a bite, you strike with you balance it with your right hand. And when you get a bite, you lift the pole like that.
And that gives you...
And that hooks the fish. And so there's no sort of slashing about with like you would do with a normal float rod.
You'd have a job to jerk it as well there, I should think.
Yeah, well, apart from that, even if you did jerk it, you've got an elastic end. And it's the elastic on the end of your pole, which stretches when you've got a fish that actually plays the fish.
Very good. You're just fishing maggot now. What other bait would you use in this sort of position?
Well, we thought that we might catch a few roach today. And so I've been feeding casters as well.
So those are your casters. Can I have a look at those?
You can. I'll just put this back out of the way, I think.
These are unhatched.
Yeah, that's the chrysalis of a blue bottle. And when they're in this particular stage, they will all sink. But as they get older, the chrysalis get darker and darker. They tend to float then because they become lighter as they change into flies or get nearer to changing into flies. They start to get darker and they start to get lighter. There's air content and they float on the surface.
And they're no good to you then?
And they're no good at all then. Well, they're not. Occasionally you can use them, but basically that is the one that you'll use as as casters.
What else have you got? I notice you've got little boxes here with various coloured maggots in. Can we have a quick look at these? These are an unusual colour, red.
Actually, it's a bait that's just becoming very, very popular at present, red maggot. They're a good bait for lots of fish now, perch, roach, even bream, a lot of bream caught on that.
These would be normally blue bottle maggots.
They're normal blue bottle maggots that have been dyed.
What about these? These are a bit on the small side, a little bit smaller.
Yeah, they are pinkish. That's the, you'll have seen a little tiny, well, a medium-sized green bottle is the thing. It's like a little tiny green fly, and that's the larvae of that one. Again, you can have them in different colours. I think one of them is probably being dyed with the chrysidine dye to make it a bronze colour.
So you've got pinkies dyed as well?
No, this is the other one, I think. This is the pinky.
These are orangey gold ones?
That's right. They're the normal maggot. That's the pinky that's been dyed. They're a bit dark, a bit on the dark side. You don't tend to want them quite so dark as that, more that colour.
How long would you expect to keep these? I know you keep them in the fridge when you're at home, but how long would you normally keep them?
Not always popular, that, is it, for the fridge? But they keep probably 4 to 5, 6 days before they start to turn into chrysalis. If you don't use a fridge. If you use a fridge, then they'll keep for probably a fortnight. until they become worthless after that. You know, they just become hard.
And then one day you open it and all the blue bottles fly away.
That's right, that's what happens.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. You won't be delighted with that. What about hooks? I noticed you before tying one of the hooks onto your,
onto my pole
onto
float,
your
yeah.
pool.
Well, there's a varying types of hooks, but I would think that 90% of the people that go match fishing or even pleasure fishing these days use spade end hooks.
That's a flattened end.
And that's the hook itself is just the end is flattened over to stop the line after you've whipped it on, pulling off.
I noticed before you were fishing with a very small hook, Dick. You would normally go no bigger than what, a 12?
Well, you wouldn't use anything as big as that on this kind of water because the fish are reasonably hard to catch. And so consequently, you'd probably be as big as an 18.
An 18? That is still very, very small.
Just try and find you one. That's the size that I've got on today, in actual fact. That's a 22. And it's a barbless hook. With them being barbless, they're very, very sharp.
And you've got to tie a pound nylon onto that?
Yeah. You hold it in the fingers and loop a line around and wrap the line around, push it through and pull it out.
I'll tell you what, better, I'll buy them tied.
That's easy for me.
I'll buy them already tied. Keep
Yeah.
that one and put it away. You've got a fish.
A tench! Even.
That's an unusual colour. Are they rare in here?
There aren't many of them. We just catch a few fish occasionally. It's a lovely fish.
Let's have a look at him. Oh, it's a beautiful colour, isn't he? Oops. He's a thickening all across the back, isn't he?
Very powerful fish.
Right, really.
Look at that.
Spawn. Eggs, spawn eggs, yeah.
Not spawned yet, though. At this time of year, you would expect it to be very mild, but look at that.
Right. That's your degorger.
That's a disgorger.
Oh, lovely fish, that. Well, thanks very much for telling us all about your little bits of equipment.
Yep.
What are you going to do now? You're going to continue with the pole?
No, I think what I shall try is I've put some bait out there, and I think I might try a float on the bait itself, on the ground bait.
Okay.
And,
well, I'll go have a chat to Dennis, and I'll
Yep.
come back and we'll pick it up when you've started your float fish.
Okay, then.
See what you can get there.
Yep, lovely.
Okay.